The rain was relentless, hammering the cracked pavement of Westview High's courtyard like 1,000 tiny fists. 16-year-old Maya Chen stood alone under the awning, her backpack slung over one shoulder, her dark eyes scanning the unfamiliar faces rushing past her. It was her first day at this new school, in a new town, in a new life she hadn't chosen. Her heart thudded, not from the cold, but from the weight of being the outsider again. Little did she know, in just a few hours, a single moment would change everything. A moment that would send 3 bullies sprawling and make her the talk of the school. Hey, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button to join our storytelling family. We're diving into a wild ride today, and you won't want to miss a second of it. Maya wasn't just any new girl. She carried a secret, one forged in sweat and discipline under the dim fluorescent lights of a martial arts dojo back in Chicago. Her father, a former Marine, had insisted she train in Krav Maga since she was 10. The world's not always kind, Maya, he'd say, his voice steady but warm. But you can be ready for it. She'd hated those grueling sessions at first. Endless drills, bruised knuckles, and aching muscles. But over time, they became her sanctuary. Now, standing in the drizzle of this small Ohio town, she felt like a stranger in her own skin, her confidence buried beneath the weight of starting over. Westview High was nothing like her old school. The hallways buzzed with cliques, each group staking out their territory like wolves. Maya kept her head down, her black hoodie pulled tight, hoping to blend into the background. But invisibility wasn't an option, not when you were the new girl with sharp cheekbones and a quiet intensity that seemed to draw eyes like a magnet. By second period, whispers followed her. Who's she? Where'd she come from? Bet she's stuck up. Maya ignored them, clutching her notebook like a shield as she slipped into English class. That's when she saw them, the trio that would change her day, her story, and maybe her life. They called themselves the Kings, a nickname that reeked of arrogance. Jake, the leader, was all broad shoulders and a smirk that screamed trouble. His sidekicks, Tyler and Nate, trailed him like hyenas, laughing too loud at his every word. They lounged at the back of the classroom, tossing crumpled paper at a kid with glasses until he flinched. Maya's stomach twisted, but she stayed silent, her pen scratching notes as the teacher droned on about the Great Gatsby. She wasn't here to make waves. Not yet. The trouble started at lunch. The cafeteria was a battlefield of noise and chaos, trays clattering, voices shouting over one another. Maya found a corner table, her tray of soggy fries and a burger untouched as she scrolled through her phone, trying to disappear. That's when Jake's shadow fell over her. Yo, new girl, he said, his voice dripping with mock curiosity. What's your deal? You too good to talk to us. Tyler and Nate snickered, leaning in like they were sizing up prey. Maya's pulse quickened, but she kept her eyes on her phone, her voice low. Just eating. Leave me alone. Jake laughed, a sharp, ugly sound. Oh, she speaks? What's that accent? You from, like, China or something? The word stung, but Maya bit her tongue. She wasn't Chinese. Her family was Taiwanese, but correcting him felt pointless. She stood to leave, her chair scraping the floor, but Jake stepped closer, blocking her path. Where you going? We're just getting to know you. His hand shot out, playful but invasive, aiming to grab her shoulder. But in his swaggering confidence, his hand misjudged, brushing against her chest instead. The cafeteria seemed to freeze. Maya's breath caught, her body reacting before her mind could catch up. Years of training kicked in like a reflex. Her hand snapped up, grabbing Jake's wrist, twisting it hard as she stepped to the side. In one fluid motion, she hooked her foot behind his ankle and yanked, sending him crashing to the floor with a thud that echoed. Tyler lunged forward, but Maya was faster. She sidestepped, using his momentum to shove him into Nate, who stumbled into a table, knocking over trays. The cafeteria erupted, gasps, shouts, phones whipping out to record. Jake scrambled to his feet, red-faced and furious, but Maya stood her ground, her fists clenched, her eyes blazing. Don't touch me again, she said, her voice low but steel. The crowd parted as a teacher stormed over, shouting for everyone to back off. Jake pointed at Maya, spitting accusations. She attacked me! Crazy new girl just went psycho! But the videos circulating on phones told a different story. Whispers turned to murmurs of awe. Did you see that? She took them down in, like 2 seconds. Maya's heart pounded, not from fear, but from the adrenaline still coursing through her. She'd wanted to stay invisible, but now every eye in the room was on her. The principal's office was a blur of stern lectures and paperwork. Jake, Tyler, and Nate played the victim card, claiming it was all a misunderstanding, but the cafeteria footage was undeniable. They were suspended for 3 days, and Maya got a warning to avoid escalating situations. She nodded, her face blank, but inside, she was reeling. She hadn't meant to make a scene, hadn't wanted to be the girl who fought back. But something had shifted. As she walked back to class, heads turned, and for the first time, the whispers weren't cruel. They were curious, almost reverent. By the next day, Maya's story had spread like wildfire. Kids she'd never met gave her nods in the hallway. A shy girl from her English class, Emma, approached her at lunch. "That was incredible," Emma said, her eyes wide. "How'd you do that?" Maya hesitated, then offered a small smile. "Training. My dad taught me." Emma's awe was infectious, and soon, a small group gathered, asking questions. "Can you teach us? What else can you do?" Maya felt a warmth she hadn't expected. For the first time, Westview didn't feel so hostile. But the Kings weren't done. Jake's suspension only fueled his anger, and he spent those 3 days plotting. He wasn't used to losing, especially not to a girl. When he returned, he kept his distance in public, but Maya caught his glares, the way his friends whispered, and pointed. She knew trouble was coming, and she wasn't wrong. It came on a Friday afternoon, in the empty parking lot behind the school. Maya was heading to the bus when she heard footsteps. Jake and his crew were there, blocking her path. No teachers, no cameras, just the 4 of them in the fading light. "You think you're tough, huh?" Jake sneered, cracking his knuckles. "That cafeteria stunt. You got lucky. Let's see how you do now." Maya's stomach dropped, but her training took over. She dropped her backpack, planting her feet, her body loose but ready. "Walk away, Jake," she said, her voice calm but firm. "You don't want this." He laughed, stepping closer, his friends circling like vultures. "Oh, I want this?" He swung, a clumsy haymaker aimed at her face. Maya ducked, her movements sharp and precise. She grabbed his arm, twisted, and used his weight to flip him onto the asphalt. Tyler charged, but she caught him with a quick elbow to the ribs, sending him gasping. Nate hesitated, then backed off, his bravado crumbling. Jake groaned on the ground, clutching his arm. "You're done," Maya said, her voice shaking not with fear but with power. "Touch me again, and it'll be worse." As the dust settled and Jake's groans faded into the evening air, Maya stood frozen, her breath coming in sharp bursts. She'd won again, but the weight of it pressed against her chest like a stone. She turned to leave, her sneakers crunching on the gravel, when a voice stopped her. "Wait!" It was a girl, maybe a sophomore, stepping out from behind a parked car, her phone trembling in her hands. Her name was Leela, a quiet kid with braided hair and glasses, someone Maya had seen in the library but never spoken to. I saw everything," Leela stammered, her eyes wide with a mix of fear and admiration. "I recorded it. You were amazing." Maya's heart sank. She hadn't wanted another video, another spotlight, but Leela's next words caught her off guard. "I've been scared of them for years. Jakey, he cornered me once, said things. I never told anyone. But you stopped him." Leela's voice cracked, and tears glistened in her eyes. Maya's throat tightened. She saw herself in Leela, the girl who'd once felt small, who'd learned to fight because the world demanded it. "You don't have to be scared anymore," Maya said softly, stepping closer. "I can teach you. Not just to fight, but to stand up." Leela blinked, her lips trembling into a smile. In that moment, something clicked for Maya. This wasn't just about her anymore. It was about every kid who'd ever felt trapped, every kid who needed to know they could fight back. She and Leela talked as the sun dipped below the horizon, their voices low but growing stronger. Leela shared her story, how Jake's taunts had haunted her, how she'd hidden in the library to avoid him. Maya listened, her anger at the Kings deepening, but so did her resolve. She told Leela about her training, about the dojo in Chicago where she'd found her strength. "It's not about hurting people," Maya said, her voice steady. "It's about knowing you can protect yourself." Leela nodded, wiping her eyes, and asked if she could join Maya's next practice. As they exchanged numbers, Maya felt a spark of purpose she hadn't known she needed. She wasn't just the new girl who fought bullies. She was someone who could help others find their own power. The parking lot, once a battleground, felt different now. Like the start of something bigger. Leela's shaky smile stayed with Maya as she boarded the bus, the weight of the fight lifting just a little. She wasn't alone anymore. She didn't wait for a response. She grabbed her bag and walked away, her heart hammering but her head high. By Monday, the story had exploded. Someone had been in the parking lot, recording from a distance. The video hit social media, racking up thousands of views. New girl destroys bullies? The captions read. Maya didn't watch it. She didn't need to. The looks in the hallways, respect, fear, admiration, told her everything. But the victory wasn't sweet. At home, Maya sat on her bed, staring at the scars on her knuckles from years of training. She'd won, but at what cost? She didn't want to be the girl who fought, the girl defined by violence. She wanted friends, laughter, a normal life. Her dad noticed her quietness at dinner. "You okay, kiddo?" he asked, his eyes searching. She nodded, but tears stung her eyes. I didn't want to hurt anyone," she whispered. He pulled her into a hug, his voice soft. "You didn't start it, Maya. You finished it. And you showed them who you are." Weeks passed, and Westview changed. The Kings kept their distance, their reign over the school crumbling. Maya found herself at the center of a new circle. Emma, the kid with glasses, a few others who'd been targets of the Kings. They started a self-defense club, meeting after school in the gym. Maya taught them what she knew, her voice steady as she showed them how to stand, how to strike, how to protect themselves. The club grew, and with it, Maya's confidence. She wasn't just the new girl anymore. She was Maya Chen, the girl who fought back, the girl who built something stronger than fear. The story doesn't end with a perfect bow. Jake transferred schools by spring, rumors swirling about his parents, embarrassment. Tyler and Nate faded into the background, their swagger gone. Maya still felt eyes on her sometimes, but they weren't hostile anymore. They were curious, even proud. She'd carved out a place for herself, not with fists but with courage. And as she stood in the gym, watching her friends practice a new move, she realized something: she wasn't invisible, and maybe she never wanted to be. That's the story of Maya Chen, the new girl who turned a moment of violation into a moment of triumph. It's a story about standing up, fighting back, and finding your place in a world that tries to push you down. So, what did you think? From which part of the country are you watching this video? Drop it in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation going. If you loved this story, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and hit that subscribe button for more epic tales like this one. Until next time, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video.